Chapter 62 Glands of Skin, Glands of Skin. Skin contains two types of glands, namely sebaceous glands and sweat glands. Sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands are simple or branched alveolar glands, situated in the dermis of skin. Structure. Sebaceous glands are ovoid or spherical in shape and are situated at the side of the hair follicle. These glands develop from hair follicles. So, the sebaceous glands are absent over the thick skin, which is devoid of hair follicles. Each gland is covered by a connective tissue capsule. The alveoli of the gland are lined by stratified epithelial cells. Sebaceous glands open into the neck of the hair follicle through a duct. In some areas like face, lips, nipple, glans penis, and labia minora, the sebaceous glands open directly into the exterior. Secretion of sebaceous gland, sebum. Sebaceous glands secrete an oily substance called sebum. Sebum is formed by the liquefaction of the alveolar cells and poured out through the ducts either via the hair follicle or directly into the exterior. Composition of sebum. Sebum contains free fatty acids, triglycerides, squalene, sterols, waxes, paraffin. Functions of sebum. Free fatty acid content of the sebum has antibacterial and antifungal actions. Thus, it prevents the infection of skin by bacteria or fungi. Lipid nature of sebum keeps the skin smooth and oily. It protects the skin from unnecessary desquamation and injury caused by dryness. Lipids of the sebum prevent heat loss from the body. It is particularly useful in cold climate. Activation of sebaceous glands at puberty. Sebaceous glands are inactive till puberty. At the time of puberty, these glands are activated by sex hormones in both males and females. At the time of puberty, particularly in males, due to the increased secretion of sex hormones, especially dihydroepiandrosterone, the sebaceous glands are stimulated suddenly. It leads to the development of acne on the face. Acne. Acne is the localized inflammatory condition of the skin, characterized by pimples on face, chest, and back. It occurs because of overactivity of sebaceous glands. Acne vulgaris is the common type of acne that is developed during adolescence. Acne disappears within few years, when the sebaceous glands become adapted to the sex hormones. Sweat glands. Sweat glands are of two types, Eccrine glands. Apocrine glands. Eccrine glands. Distribution. Eccrine glands are distributed throughout the body, Table 62.1. There are many eccrine glands over thick skin. Structure. Eccrine sweat gland is a tubular coiled gland. It consists of two parts, a coiled portion lying deeper in dermis, which secretes the sweat. A duct portion, which passes through dermis and epidermis. Eccrine sweat gland opens out through the sweat pore. The coiled portion is formed by single layer of columnar or cuboidal epithelial cells, which are secretory in nature. Epithelial cells are interposed by the myoepithelial cells. Myoepithelial cells support the secretory epithelial cells. The duct of Eccrine gland is formed by two layers of cuboidal epithelial cells. Secretory activity of Eccrine glands. Eccrine glands function throughout the life since birth. These glands secrete a clear watery sweat. The secretion increases during increase in temperature and emotional conditions. Eccrine glands play an important role in regulating the body temperature by secreting sweat. Sweat contains water, sodium chloride, urea, and lactic acid. Control of Eccrine glands. Eccrine glands are under nervous control and are supplied by sympathetic postganglionic cholinergic nerve fibers, which secrete acetylcholine. Stimulation of these nerves causes secretion of sweat. Apocrine glands. Distribution. Apocrine glands are situated only in certain areas of the body like axilla, pubis, areola, and umbilicus. Structure. Apocrine glands are also tubular coiled glands. The coiled portion lies in deep dermis. But, the duct opens into the hair follicle above the opening of sebaceous gland. Secretory activity of apocrine glands. Apocrine sweat glands are non-functional till puberty and start functioning only at the time of puberty. In old age, the function of these glands gradually declines. The secretion of the apocrine glands is thick and milky. At the time of secretion, it is odorless. When microorganisms grow in the secretion, a characteristic odor develops in the regions where apocrine glands are present. Secretion increases only in emotional conditions. Apocrine glands do not play any role in temperature regulation like Eccrine glands. Control of apocrine glands. Apocrine glands are innervated by sympathetic adrenergic nerve fibers. But, the secretory activity is not under nervous control. However, adrenaline from adrenal medulla causes secretion by apocrine glands. Glands of eyelids, glands of external auditory meatus and mammary glands are the modified apocrine glands. Pheromones. Pheromones are a group of chemical substances that are secreted by apocrine glands. Some scientists call this substance as vomeronasal. When secreted into environment by an organism, pheromones produce some behavioral or physiological changes in other members of the same species. Pheromones are mostly present in urine, vaginal fluid and other secretions of mammals and influence the behavior and reproductive cycle in these animals. Details of pheromones in lower animals are well documented. However, human pheromones are not fully studied. Recently, it is found that the pheromones excreted in axilla of a woman affects the menstrual cycle of her roommate or other woman living with her. These substances stimulate receptors of vomeronasal receptors. Vomeronasal receptors are distinct from other olfactory receptors and detect specially the odor of pheromones. Impulses from these receptors are transmitted to hypothalamus, which influences the menstrual cycle via pituitary gonadal axis. This effect of pheromones on the menstrual cycle of other individuals is called dormitory effect. Refer Chapter 177 for details of vomeronasal organ and its receptors. Glands of skin: sebaceous glands, sweat glands, Eccrine glands, Apocrine glands.